Hi, I'm Elle of Integrated Soul Works, and I'd like to give some tips and talk about awakening. But who am I to be talking about awakening? So, just quickly, I'm a meditation teacher. I do that with my partner online, and we have a meditation group, and we actually have openings available. And that is about building structure in the world so that when you go out into the world, bad things are out there with this whole global thing that's going on. And so people can be really fearful, angry, sad, and all those things. And we can get really swamped when you go out of the house, or if you're living downtown, it's just hovering around your whole place. So when you start really cultivating your structures, then you don't get swamped. You're really in your own self. So that's the thing about, being empathic. We're naturally kind of empathic, but then what can happen is that can shift, and we can move into vision, we can move into sight, we can move into knowing, but just be really strong and grounded and in our own inner world of peace and happiness. So that's a little bit about my meditation group. And then also with Awakening, I have a practice online. And it is healing work on a very deep shamanic level. So I delve into stuff like soul retrieval, regression, emotional release. So things that are happening now where people are really upset and scared. Some of that is like going back into childhood or past life, or if you don't even believe in past life, it can be DNA in your own family that has been persecuted or something. So it's like wounds that I release. So all of that is so that when you let go of that's clouding in your whole energy body, you can shine more once that's gone. It's like replaced with light and vibration and the essence of you and source energy gets more in there. So that is that kind of awakening work that I do. So going to awakening is like how we are in the world when the chaos is here and things are happening, and how you interact with people, how you feel within yourself. That's all awakening work, right? So using what's happening now is just the perfect time to awaken more, and people really are. But awakening is much more than just, let's say, meditation and buying beautiful things, and displaying our Buddhas or whatever in our houses or crosses or, stuff, because we are a very complacent culture, and that is because we're very wealthy. So the more money we make, the more we don't really have to work on our spirituality. We can buy it, we think, right? So that's where our culture has kind of been. So that's where the beauty of what's been going on has been kind of highlighting. And so using what's been happening is like, how are you out in the world? And one of the things is last year I was talking to this fellow, and he sold masks, and he was a specialist for the occupational health and safety. That's what he specialized in for workers and stuff with wearing masks and that. And he was telling me, he's like, masks don't work. And I'm like, tell me about that. So notice I didn't react, right? It's like, tell me about that. What do you think, right? Because my ego wasn't involved. I don't have an investment, because a belief system limits consciousness. So he was saying that what happens is the sickness is an aerosol, not really droplets. It's actually an aerosol, and it's so tiny that it goes through the cloth and it goes through the paper. And I was like, that's really interesting. And then he was saying it's actually what happens is it becomes this breeding ground because it's moist. The mask is moist. And then this is a breeding ground right on your mouth. And then what happens is people touch it. They touch things. They get sick from, like, they carry the sickness there. They touch it. So that's what he was telling me. So I went home and I did my own research into this. And for me, there's a lot of truth to it. So do your own research, because that's stepping out of complacency, right? That's stepping out of what society is telling you, what the TV, which is a program, is telling you. And when you do your own research, there's a lot of censorship. So it's really important to really delve in to who is doing the writing and what's their intention, right? And a lot of it is selling of things, medicine and stuff. And those medicine makers are making a lot of money right now because, for example, the nose is related to erectile function. So if we're sitting here having breathing, limiting our fresh air and our breath, that can actually cause erectile function. So next thing you know, we don't know this and we're going off to get more medication. So interesting that there's a lot of money to be made by this. So just delving in deep to your own research. So doing that though, then there is the challenge of society and the society pressure and peer pressure of the mandate. So what do we do then to use that as an awakening practice? So one of the things that I recommend is wearing it and kind of delving into the feelings of when you take it off, right? When everybody else is wearing one. So is there an inner feeling of I wear this and even I know that it doesn't really work, but I'm told what to do. This is what we're all doing, so this is what I'm going to do. So that can be from a very wounded place, if you can feel into that. It can be you're told you don't want to rock the boat because when you did rock the boat, or when you do rock the boat in your family, it's uncomfortable. Maybe you had timeouts as a kid. Maybe you got spanked as a kid, silent treatment, all of those things. So kind of feeling what's coming up. That can cause a lot of stress. So then it's just easier just to do what you're told to do, right? So, but that's not awakened. That's complacent. So there's that. Also, it can also bring up when people look at you. Some people can have a deep set wound from a past life or this one. And if you don't believe in past lives, it can be family DNA. And it can be about persecution. So you can feel really persecuted. You can feel really ostracized. So it's just better if you just put the frickin' thing on and cooperate. But that's not awakening. Kind of fun. Then the other thing that can come up is maybe you're one of those people that was pressuring people to put it on. You really believed in it. And it's like, put that thing on. You know, we all saw that on Facebook, right? People going, put your mask on, and it's a bit of bullying happening. And so all of this stuff that can come up for you, realize, oh my God, I've been that person, is one of the things I find with awakening work is to be super kind to self. So in our meditation group, for example, for 5 minutes, 6 days, every morning, we breathe into our inner child and our issue that's coming up. So you could take something like that. And so 5 minutes a day is just really feeling into persecution, or I'm feeling really ostracized. You know, I went out and people looked at me really funny and it really made me scared. Then that's something that really highlights your process. So that's one of the things that we do, is just sit in the space and do that. The kindness to yourself also is, let's say you were one of those bullies that was like, put your mask on. And it could be for right reasons, you know, like you saw lots of people being sick and that's what you attributed it all to. So do your part, right? Where's that wound of do your part? Where didn't you do your part in life? And where are you projecting it out? And But then it's that kindness for self. So what I do is a practice of constantly, oh my God, I love myself so much. I see that I was being a bit of a bully, peer pressuring. I love myself so much because I care so much about people. I really care. I love that about me, that I was enough to like kind of badger people. That's okay. I'm not going to do that anymore because that's an ego thing, but I see it and I love that I care so much about people. So I switch everything into love. So because we can kind of go, oh, well, I don't want to put, if I don't wear it, then people will get scared to be around me. You know, you can feel that. But then there's this thing called tough love. And there's this thing called peacekeeping. So peacekeeping is just keeping the peace, putting the frickin' thing on and being peaceful. But actually it's not, because we're losing our freedom. So, you know, things are being censored. There's massive freedom loss. So that's when there's like this extra kindness to self. Oh my God, I love myself so much. I really need to fit in. I really need to blend in with the rest of the people. And that really creates me to follow and not be a leader and to compromise myself. I'm not going to compromise myself anymore because I love myself so much. So those are some tips of awakening. I'd love to hear what you have to think. And if you're interested in joining our meditation group, you're more than welcome to check it out. Or if you want to do some spiritual healing work and do some huge release work, you're more than welcome to contact me also. All the information is here. Thank you.